Right, now this will tell us. And that's pretty conclusive. Still going. Close. I think he's got it down.
How strong is he?
Welcome back to the Pick and Go podcast, your one-stop shop for all things Super Rugby. Once again, I'm joined in studio by our good friend, Piri Weepu. Piri, how's the week? Any footy?
Yes, we played our first game yesterday.
Proper
Competition game as a traditional at the same time. We managed to get up yesterday against St. Pat's Town. The boys done pretty well. A bit patchy, but we're happy that the boys decided to properly show up this time round and, not train like Tarzan and then play like Jane on the weekend. So they finally decided to wake up and get the job done. So, yeah, it was a pretty good day yesterday for the school because we had off. Do we really have to do the score?
Well, people will be quite interested.
The boys won 43-10.
Is that right?
So, but we
Against
played
St. Pat's Town.
We played traditional with football and also basketball, and it was a clean sweep yesterday.
Ooh, wow,
I think the football boys were shocked that they were in the game at halftime, and then they managed to come through because the coach said that they had a few players they were their vision of like Dan Carter and co. So it was a bit scared that the boys might not pull through and just worry about their game, but they done the job and done pretty well.
Oh, well done. We'll head up north. I'm guessing that Searle unfortunately was unavailable for Northcote last weekend. So how did the Northcote get on without you, Searle?
Yeah, unfortunately, the boys went down by 4 points. I've heard plenty about it in the following days too, but I watched a lot of footage and it looked like the boys put in a decent shift against the top of the table, unbeaten North Shore. So hopefully get back in the mixer this week up against Paulie's side Takapuna. Rumours he's flying up Saturday morning and he'll be dressed in tech colours too. So that adds a bit of extra fire to the encounter.
Are you going live so we can listen to your commentary too?
Give me a T. Give me an A.
Bloody hell.
Right. All the best this weekend, Searle. But let's get on to some real footy. And what we've been doing the last few weeks is helping Scotty Robertson out with his selections for his first ever All Black squad. And this week, today, we're going to have a look at hooker. And it's a really interesting position, I guess, just because of the injuries that have occurred during the season, the fact that the incumbent, Cody Taylor, has only just come back into Super Rugby. So we'll start with you first, Searle. Where does Scott Robertson look? Does he, if Cody Taylor puts in a couple of performances over the next 2 weeks, it'd be very hard to see him, if not in the starting jersey, at the very least coming off the bench. But outside of Cody Taylor, who else do you see? I'm sure there'll be a candidate up north that you're very keen to have a look at.
Well, I think Cody Taylor's been pretty good since coming back. It's only been a couple of weeks, but look like he hasn't missed a beat. He's been playing some great code. I think Taukiaho will be right in the mix. He's been playing well this year, and I thought last weekend against the Rebels, he was really impressive. And then depending how soon Asafa can come back, he was one of the form players of Super Rugby. So I'm sure he had enough under his belt there to play his way into the black jersey too. But in those three hookers alone, like, other countries would be falling over their feet to get their hands on just one of them. So I think we're pretty stacked in the hooking department. Then you a couple of young lads down in Crusaders country as well, and George Bell and Brodie McAllister, who wouldn't look out of place in that wider squad either.
Piri, you're very, very close to the Hurricanes setup. Omua, any word on how far away he is from coming back?
Woody. Man,
Finally,
my
he
phone's
picks
broken.
up the phone.
The phone's broken.
Finally.
I haven't been. No message. I haven't. I wouldn't have a clue, to be honest. Like I mean, myself personally, I try and stay away from that environment just because my time has been done in the jersey, and you just understand how, you know, how much it means to you to be a part of that environment, that you don't want to be sort of, I wouldn't say, like imposed on by people from the past, although we do like to acknowledge the ones that have laid the foundation for all of us. But no, I wouldn't have a clue on how long a suffer was going to be. I think they said at the start wasn't going to be 4 to 8 weeks. But you never know. I mean, he is a very big freaking hooker that's very muscly, so those ligaments and joints and all that might recover pretty quick. He should go. I think you should go to VG and see if he can do what Nahula did when he.
That was like, he's going to be out 2 months.
Mr.
1
Miyagi.
week.
Mr. Miyagi.
That was amazing.
It was. He was pretty much gone back to the islands. I don't know. We must have had some cover whalers over there. Jeevers. Which I know Artie and that come back. Artie's back in the country and decided to have a sit around the table with the boys and mix some grog. But yeah.
Did you say Artie's back now, or are you talking about before?
No, he's back in the country.
He is
back with the
team. I knew you were
finished?
close to the.
Paulie.
He blocked me.
But no, I've got no idea. But I have been impressed with Cody. I know he's been out for majority of the campaign for him to come back, and he's just pretty much finished where started where he finished, really. And like Silly said, Tokyo, there's obviously a few other boys. Riccatelli's doing a pretty good job up in with the Blues, and also Eklund. He's been doing pretty well. It's pretty easy to say that when you're at the back of the mall, though, you know. But their work ethic around the pitch has been pretty huge too. So wouldn't be surprised if one of those two boys if Asaf was not back ready.
It does seem like a position where the All Blacks have a whole heap of depth. There are any number of players who are ready to put their hand up if one of the front runners goes down. So it's probably a position where it might be slightly difficult for Robertson to pick because he's got so many options. But if you look at it from another angle, at least he's got those options, and he's not thinking, "Oh, where do I have to go? Do I have to ask for someone from overseas to come back?" So, yeah, I agree. I think Cody Taylor will be wearing the number 2 jersey when the All Blacks suit up for the first test of the season against England, which is getting ever closer as we speak. Another question. I know we had Magic Round a few weeks ago in Melbourne, but I just experienced Magic Round NRL styles in Brisbane last weekend, and the setup is ideal. I'm not sure what it's like in Melbourne for Super Rugby, but for the NRL, it's great because the public transport, the trains, all pull up every 5 minutes or so. You walk up through the barracks, across the road. Caxton Street is closed off to traffic. It's a party zone there, and it's not that far to go to head down to Suncorp. Searle, is there another city they could take Super Rugby Magic Round to, which I guess would have that sort of party atmosphere where you don't have to travel too far to get to places, either in New Zealand or Australia?
Yeah, well, straight away, the first one that jumped out to me is Dunedin. I'd love to have it down at the steamer lunchbox because it just guarantees the weather. It takes the weather out of it. You get to have good football in that beautiful stadium. Dunedin's a party town. It's quite easy to travel to. They're going to get those students, big numbers guaranteed stampede. So I think Dunedin's perfect for it. I wouldn't mind seeing it go to Fiji either, just to really add some atmosphere. Excuse us to travel over, which I'm sure the TAB could make happen, because I think we'd have a great time as a trio. But yeah, the locals would go crazy. It's a great tourist destination. Not too sure around the whole bar setup and how close the stadium is to town, but heading to Suva for Magic Round would be pretty special.
Piri, if you were going to take Magic Round to a different city, is there anywhere else outside of Melbourne that you would think is ideal?
The Tinny House.
Yeah.
Just because we've had it with the Sevens. They've closed off Courtney Place. It's not like a bloody hike or anything like that to get from the stadium there. And obviously
You've got the bars on the waterfront.
On the waterfront, and it creates a good atmosphere. Like during the stint when they did have the Sevens here, the concourse was their most important part. No one really watched too much footy unless the All Black Sevens team showed up. Then it was packed, and then as soon as they finished, everyone straight back out into concourse having a good time. And I think transport, I'd obviously just have to amp it up a bit more for people that are travelling from Purido out in the Hutt area, or even up Kapiti, that want to come and get involved with it. But I'd probably say here the only downside is like Sally said, will be the weather. But I'm pretty sure they'll show up just like they did with the Sevens.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree. Wellington knows how to throw a party, and everything is very, very central. The stadium is right next to the major transport hub, Wellington Railway Station. When the Sevens was at its peak, the council used to put on free buses to and from the stadium after each day. It was pretty well run. So yeah, I just don't know. I just thought the experience in Brisbane for Super Round was super.
That's because you were in warm weather.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it was 23 to 25 degrees every single day. But with Caxton Street, it's like a mini Courtney Place, because they've got just bars all the way, pubs and that down all the way down to Suncorp, and then it's not too far if you want to head to another section of town. So
I think we need to start doing tailgating like they do in America.
Yeah, well,
around our stadiums, or even like how they do in Durban, in South Africa. Everyone just pull up with their things,
with their South African barbecues,
their braai,
and
have their chili bin there before the game, after the game. We used to get amongst it, and people would offer us a feed. I'm like, yes, I will definitely have a feed. I'm not shy of a few bit of kai here and there. Thanks.
What's your name? Susie. Oh, no, thank you. No. Have some coleslaw. No, I'm all good, thanks. I guess one other thing we should probably touch on, there's a big power struggle going on in New Zealand rugby at the moment, with the Players Association threatening to break away, and it looks like it's a heavyweight bout between them and the rugby union, as we see it at the moment. Could you actually see, Searle, a world where the players run the game here?
Definitely, because every kind of point that people are bringing up at the moment seems incredibly relevant. So I could 100% see a world, and I don't think they need to change, because numbers at the grassroots level are really struggling. And I think the TV numbers are up at the professional level. It's such a competitive environment now. So rugby definitely needs to adapt and move with the times. I could 100% see a way where the players hold the power, because if no one else is going to act, then it's in the players' best interest to take matters into their own hands.
Piri, you hearing anything from the Hurricanes camp around how the players are feeling? Anything on the phone? Nothing?
No, nothing.
All right.
No. No, I haven't heard anything. I did see a notification pop up about it. And I know that with players and marketing side of things, sometimes the union gets that wrong in terms of how they use the players' images, and obviously with the brand being so big around the world, there's a certain element to make sure that it's not an individual promo, that it's a team one, or it's involved around the All Blacks brand. So can understand why they're sort of headbutting. I know there's a bit of frustration from some of the players, and not only the players, but people outside of the NZRU that, obviously they've cut people and they're hemorrhaging money, but it's because I feel like they just need a clean sweep. I think that the people that are there at the moment aren't the right people for the job, and they're not moving with the times and trying to, change things up to adapt to the way the world's moving.
Which is basically what the report that they commissioned says, a brand new structure. And it seems like the Players Association are very keen for the report to be, I guess, put through in full as is, and the rugby union are, if we make a couple of tweaks here or there, we're a lot happier with that. So it'll be very interesting to see how this pans out over the next weeks, months. But yes, this could be, historically, I guess, look back and think this is a huge turning point in New Zealand rugby. So yeah, very, very interested to see how it turns out. Right, let's have a look at some proper rugby that was played on the field. And last week, the Hurricanes got up over Moana Pacifica, but not by the margin that most expected. Certainly you, Piri, you had the Canes winning by 13 and over. And, of course, when we recorded last week's Pick and Go, it was before the teams were named. Well, the Hurricanes basically put a brand new side out there. And when that happens, I guess combinations maybe not quite as crisp as they have been. And to be fair to Moana Pacifica, they played very well against the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I think Shirley said it last week. They were targeting this game, and they definitely showed up and put a lot of pressure on them. And I guess, like you said, the combinations, not enough time for those boys to gel like they have been throughout the course of the competition. And then a late change right at the end there with Billy Proctor before the game. But I mean, I think they needed to have these changes just so that near the back end, which we're getting close to, when it counts, we need to make sure that everyone gets that opportunity so that they gel. It doesn't matter who's in the saddle in every position. They get the opportunity because they've been in there together collectively to make sure that they get the job done. Yeah, it was a bit rusty and totally opposite to what we've seen, how they've played so far in this competition. But yeah, it was still a tough game, and Moana definitely gave it to them.
Searle, anything to add to the Canes Moana Pacifica game? But I mean, the result was, as we sort of thought. I guess it's just more the margin and the closeness of the game in the end.
Yeah, I think the high error count surprised me a little because we've seen the Canes rest players throughout this season, but their depth has been standing and guys have just fit in so seamlessly. So that surprised me a touch, but I still thought Peter Lakai really changed the game when he came on off the bench, and he probably put his hand up even further to Razor to say that he needs to be considered as a bit of a bolter. Probably not that bolter word anymore because he's so strong all season, but I'd love to see him in that All Black squad to take on England.
Next game, Chiefs just getting up over the top Searle of the Rebels, 23-26. The Rebels have showed this season that they are a fair income rugby team, and at home they just go up another notch or two as well. So Chiefs, I guess, in the end, happy to come away with the win.
Yeah, important for cements the top four, but I think Piri touched on it last week. He said he wouldn't be surprised if the Rebels got up over the Chiefs, and for a while there it looked like they could do. I thought Damien's goal kicking probably proved to be the main difference, and he was sharp yet again. Etienne Satoro also with a really strong performance too, and they just showed in those key minutes you can rely on those big name and big game players to stand up. But if they this game, it would have been one that really came back to hurt them because they got a tough run home, so a crucial win on the road for them.
Pity, Crusaders travelled to your favourite city in Australia, Canberra, to take on the Brumbies. And like a lot of teams who travel to Canberra, the Crusaders came away with a loss, 24-31. And combined with the Drewers victory against the Reds, that now means the Crusaders have to rely on other results for them to make the playoffs. To be fair, they haven't been that far away in just about every game they've played this season. They just don't seem to have that killer instinct or that, I guess, ability to grab just get points every time they create a wee bit of pressure. They just seem to be making just the odd error here and there, and it's something that we're not really accustomed to seeing from Crusader sides.
No, not at all. I mean, they had a slow start too to start off with. When you're on away games, you definitely want to start well. Try and bank points early just to set the tone. But yeah, very frustrating one. I kept a close eye on that game, and it's a tough one for them because like you said, they're definitely there, but they're not getting the job done at the end of the game. But they are definitely putting pressure on opposition. It's usually them putting pressure on them and on the opposition and maintaining it, waiting for the error, and then they capitalize on it. But this year they haven't quite done exactly what they've done in the past, where they're very dominant across the board for 80 minutes. They have glimpses of what we've known to see from them, and then after that, it's like, where's this team gone?
Searle, the Crusaders now don't have their destiny in their own hands. There must be a wee bit of frustration building up in the Crusaders camp. And I think we may have seen a wee bit of that with the Rob Penny interview on TV1 News last night. Can you see... Well, first of all, can you see the Crusaders winning out? Oh, he's frozen. He's gone all cold on us, old Searle. Oh no, he's gonna have to unhook and come back in again because he's the old Wi-Fi. I don't know if he forgot to pay the Wi-Fi bill while he was away at Magic Round. But yeah, he's gone at the moment. So we'll stay here in studio with Piri. Move on to the last game that we're going to look at.
Oh, there he is.
Oh no, he's back. He's yeah. We've thawed him out, and he's come back.
What's going on?
You were frozen, so we thought you hang up and come back, but here you are.
You're
are
back. Yeah. So the Crusaders there must be frustration building up in the camp at the moment, and I think we saw that with the Rob Penny interview last night on the TV1 Sports News. Can you see them winning out to at least give themselves a chance of making the playoffs?
Well, they've got a pretty tough run home, don't they, up against the Blues? I guess the benefit for them is that they're at home, and typically this is where they kind of stand up and play their best footy. But yeah, that was one of the more bizarre ending game I've seen against the Brumbies, and then one of the more bizarre press conferences for Rob Penny. I felt a little sorry for him, which is probably a thing that I didn't think I would say coming out of my mouth for any Crusaders coach. But yeah, it's tough for them because over the last couple of weeks they've probably played enough footy of a higher quality where you can see them making the 8 and beating some of those teams that are going to play final but at the same time, when you've got a 2-win record from 12 games, you just don't deserve to be there.
All right, the last game we'll have a look at from round 13. Wowee, Blues 47, Highlanders 13. Now, the Highlanders almost certainly going to be, in fact, they're going to be a part of the playoffs this season. And they got absolutely smoked by the Blues, Pity.
They did. I don't think they've fired too many shots at all, to be honest. But in all of that, I'm actually, it's actually been good to see Whakatava actually still playing well in a team where if he's going backwards, at least he understands that if he's in the shit, he can always fight to try and give the boys a better chance. But yeah, it's not the same squad that we thought would be they'd be from the preseason. The results said that they were definitely going to be a lot better throughout this campaign, but I don't know, maybe we might have touched on it a little bit, where they might have been near the back end, they've been a bit burnt out from working too hard during the week.
Searle, your Blues, dominant. You must be very, very happy with the way they're travelling at the moment. They're at the top of the table. They're looking very, very good. They've given a number of guys in the squad a run. That forward pack looked very, very strong against the Highlanders. And they're favourites with the bookies as well. It's all going well up north.
Yeah, that makes me nervous, Paula. That really does make me nervous. I like that whole underdog flying under the radar narrative that we had 3 or 4 weeks ago when the Canes were undefeated and everything was looking nice and sunshine and rainbows down at the Tinny House. But now the emphasis has shifted over to the Blues. I got a little nervous when I saw the team last week for that game, just because there were so many changes. But yeah, we flexed our depth last week, and like you touched on before, Dalton, Akira Ioane, and then I thought Caleb Clark was outstanding too. So you got key players in good form, Harry Plummer pulling the strings perfectly. So yeah, it's all pretty good up here at City of Sales at the moment.
Right, let's have a look to this week, round 14 of Super Rugby, and we kick off with arguably the game of the round. Chiefs Hurricanes. Chiefs are $1.57. Hurricanes $2.30. There's been a bit of movement there. Chiefs shortening into $1.57. They're now 3.5-point favourites. The game total set at 53.5. Shirley, can you see the Chiefs jumping over the top of the Hurricanes here with a win?
I think the home ground advantage for them is going to be huge. It's going to play a big factor in deciding the outcome of this game. If this was down at the Cape Tin, then I think the Hurricanes will probably go in as favourites. It's been an interesting little pack for the Canes over the past month. Apart from that first half against the Waratahs, I think they've been a little bit off their game at times. So they'll be coming in with a big point to prove, and with a number of their star players rested. And then for the Chiefs, this is a real test for them. Can they beat these top New Zealand teams and show that they're a genuine contender this year? So I'm really excited for this game. I think there's going to be a lot of margins separating the two of them, and we're going to get a nice little preview towards finals football as well. But something to watch for the Canes too. If they lose this game, the Brumbies jump them on the ladder, that could set up a horrible trip to Pity's favourite place in a semi-final. You want to avoid in a major way. The Brumbies on the road compared to the Brumbies at home, they're a completely different beast.
Pity, can the Hurricanes go up to Chiefs country and pick up a win after I don't think they were lucky against Moana Pacifica, but getting a wee bit of a scare.
No, I think they'll definitely get back to how they played against the Blues. I thought that they played their structure and blew opportunities for themselves in that game. But I think they'll be getting back to since it's a Thursday morning, we can actually look at the squad
see-
now.
yes, yeah.
You know, and
The teams are named.
So it's pretty good to see that. Obviously, you've got the likes of TJ back in the starting line with Cameron as well. So your two generals getting the boys down the right end of the field. If not, making sure that they've got them running the structures correctly and working hard on defence. So I think the Canes can definitely go out there and get the job done. It won't be easy if they are able to get rid of all the errors that they had last week against Moana. I think there's definitely an opportunity for them to go up there and tip the favourites.
Righty-ho. Another game, which you could arguably say is the game of the round. Crusaders up against the Blues. This is amazing. The Crusaders at home, $2.60. Now, earlier this week, they were $3.20 at home, and they were, I think they were 7.5-point underdogs at home. I don't remember the Crusaders ever being a 6 or 7 point underdog at home. But here we are. They're $2.60 head to head. The Blues are $1.45. The line is Crusaders are 6.5 point underdogs, and the game total is at 53.5. This is do or die. Basically, the playoffs probably started last week for the Crusaders. That if not, they definitely start this week, and they'll need some help as well. But first of all, they've got to get the job done. Searle, can you see the Crusaders just giving their fans one more week of hope?
Yeah, to me, this game reminds me of that game where they got up against the Chiefs at home about 6 or 8 weeks ago now, and everyone thought they were back. It's pretty crazy when you look through this Crusaders team. It's still so stacked. Guys like Tamaiti Williams, Dallas McLeod, 2 current All Blacks on the bench. So they certainly have the cattle to get it done, but on form, you'd have to back Vern Cotter's lads to go down there and get the job done. 11 wins from their 12 games. That defence has been outstanding this year. It's got a game plan and a structure that they seem also clear on. Everyone's on the same page. They're playing real team rugby. So anytime Crusaders take on the Blues, it makes me nervous, especially down in Christchurch. That rivalry is massive, and typically the Crusaders have had the wood on us. Fingers crossed the boys can go down there and get the job done, because I'd like to see the Crusaders finally call it a year, personally.
Piri, it's been a long, long time since we've seen Carlos Spencer salute the Canterbury crowd.
I was just going to bring that up too.
It's been a while. The Blues as a whole could do that to the Crusader fans this weekend by knocking them over. Can you make a case for the Crusaders? I can't believe that they are They were $3.20 earlier this week. The Crusaders at home. Now the punters have jumped on and told the bookies, "Hold on a minute, you've got this out of whack just a well." I know they haven't been playing well, but can you see them getting a win here?
Well, it's definitely desperation times for them, and fingers crossed that results go their way from other matches. But I mean, this will be a huge one if they do get the scalp of the Blues. The way that they're tracking, they probably won't get the job done, but it's hard to say because, going down there, it's always a hard task to get a result, even though we've seen a few teams go down there this year. But I know the derby matches are usually the biggest ones that most of these franchises get up for. And, it's like they grow an extra arm and a leg for. So, I can't sort of see them getting up against the Blues this week, just the way that they've been tracking and the way that the Blues have been playing too.
I don't know.
Spat it out.
I can't back against the Crusaders at home when they're just shining a big $2.60 at me. It's just.
Is that your punt?
I don't want to say anything until we get to that, but this is just, it's like we're in the twilight zone and something's not right in the world. So I will be having a very, very serious look at the Crusaders as significant underdogs at home. Even though, and it would be ironic that the Crusaders, if they did beat the Blues and then not make the playoffs, they would have beaten two teams in the top four and not make the playoffs. But that's just because of the other results that they haven't managed to pick up. So, yeah. Yeah, the Crusaders are going to be in my punting plan this weekend. Yes,
there it is.
They definitely are. Last game we'll have a look at for round 14. Highlanders up against the Drua. Highlanders $1.37, the Drua $2.90. These two teams sitting together on the table. Highlanders in 7th place with 23 points. Drua in 8th place in that last playoff spot currently with 21 points. Searle, Highlanders surely put on a much better performance this weekend back home against a Drua team away from those tropical skies and palm trees of Suva.
Yeah, that fact alone pretty much flips the odds, right? If the Drua were at home, they would be the $1.70 favourites and the Landers would be the $2.90 underdogs. I am surprised to see the Drua paying $2.90 because they're a decent football side, and on their day, I think they can push anyone. But I think with the Landers getting back Billy Harmon, that'll be massive for them. He brings them another level of confidence, and Clark Dermody would have been to them all week after that second half shift from them. So I'm expecting them to bounce back and be too strong at home. But that Fijian alternative point start still screams out to me a little, just because I don't think they should be that disrespected, regardless of being on the road.
Piri, the Highlanders get back on in the winner's circle this week, or can the Drua make a go? Or will the Drua treat it like Moana Pacifica did the week before the Canes game and go, no, we're going to target next week back home against the Rebels?
Oh, I think this is definitely a game that they need to target. If we look at the table, the Force are only 1 or 2 points behind them. Now, we threw the Force out, wooden spooners. They're actually just outside of the top 8. And if they get a result, which I don't think they will, but if they did get a result, that puts them in the playing field and puts a lot more pressure on one of these two teams to lose next week. So I think the Drua, or actually both teams, need to make sure that they get a result. It doesn't matter who, because the door's being knocked on by the Force, and if the Force can get their dub over the Reds on the weekend, someone's going to be sitting right on the fence and like, oh, can I please come? Can I please let me in? So it's the result that the Force had on the weekend was huge, and it's definitely put a lot of pressure on these two teams to make sure that they get the result, and if not, one of them needs to lose with a bonus point. So it's hard to pick, but I want the Drua to go down and get a job done.
Funnily enough, I'm glad you brought up the wooden spoon battle, because none of us mentioned the Crusaders when we were talking about wooden spoon candidates. Wow. If the Crusaders lose against the Blues this weekend and the Waratahs beat Moana Pacifica, then next week's game, Crusaders Moana Pacifica, will be the battle for the spoon.
Wow.
That is just, there's not something you would have contemplated saying before the season started. Crusaders in the battle for the spoon.
No, I don't think I've ever been that low on the table ever.
That is amazing. I just can't believe the Crusaders could be in a battle for the wooden spoon, Super Rugby. It is a huge, huge turnaround. Having said that, it's time for us to decide where we're going to put our money this week. We can have a look back to last week. Piri, $100 gone.
Oh, that's that confidence.
That's that top of the table energy, eh? That's that top of the table energy.
You took
Good
a
Paulie. One good
a-
punt, mate.
Yeah, one good punt, which we pretty much gave you the extra two guys to help out with their punts.
a 4-leg multi last week, the whole 100 on. First leg, Canes 13 and over, boom, gone.
What was my other picks?
Drua 1 to 12,
Oh yeah, no, they
that was all right. Blues 1 to 12, Brumbies 13 and over. So you got one leg in your 4-leg multi. Unfortunately, you don't even get some bonus cash for that one.
damn it.
Searle. Now, Searle, he got tipped over by the Canes 13 and over as well. But he had $20 on the Drua 1 to 12. So he got a wee bit back there. So that's all right. I had the Crusaders 1 to 12. No good. And then I had a double, Reese and Talia, both to score a try. I accidentally said Alex Talia last week, and I must have known something was up because Mark Talia didn't turn up last week.
You cursed it.
See, that's what you get.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look to this week. Piri, redeem yourself.
Canes. Throw the kitchen sink on it.
Just the head-to-head or?
Yep. Oh, wait, what's a 13 plus pay?
Whoa!
Whoa.
Well, I'm just trying to make money up here. Make up so I can
Hurricanes, $6.20, 13 and over. Do you want to do that?
How much did you say?
$6.20
Yep. Chuck
The whole
kitchen sink on
100
it. Yeah.
on the Canes, 13 and over against the Chiefs at $6.20.
Yes. Paul. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I don't want to hear from you, like, meh. Because if it pays off, there won't be, nah.
Searle, where are you going to head this week? I get the feeling I feel a couple of multis coming in here.
Yeah, well, like I've decided to gamble responsibly. So for that Chiefs versus Hurricanes game, I like the try bet option here of either team to win by under 7.5. I think it's going to be really tight. That's paying $2.50. So I'm going to multi that up with the Crusaders on a start of plus 15.5 and the Drua on a start of plus 14.5. So that gets me $4.88. I'm going to chuck $90 on that. And then for a little magic multi, Blues 1 to 12, Chiefs 1 to 12. That's paying $8.40. I'll chuck my last 10 on that.
Righty ho. I'm going to take a same game multi this week.
Here we go.
That'll be one of my bets. And it's in the Crusaders Blues game. I'm going to take Mark Talia to score a try. I'm going to take Sevu Reese to score a try. And I'm going to take the Crusaders to win. And that same game multi comes out at $10.99. I'm going to put 50 on that. And then I'm going to put a little Super Rugby multi together. And I'm going to take the Hurricanes head-to-head at $2.30. And I'm going to take the Waratahs at $2.05. Multi those two together. And I'll put me other 50 on that. And that one comes out to, get out. There we are.
Those pop-ups, Paulie?
Yes, $4.71. So Hurricanes, Waratahs double, and then a same game multi in the Crusaders Blues game. Talia to score a try, Reese to score a try, and Crusaders to win. That comes out at $10.99. Hoping for a wee bit of luck there, although
So you locked that in?
That's locked in.
Mark Talia's not playing.
He's I can see him floating here.
Nah.
Just having you.
Yeah, you should go for Caleb Clark. You should go for him.
Right, don't forget, we've still got our tipping comp up and running. Howser?
Just check. In
Are you in the
60,
top? Oh, are you?
60th position.
Oh, you are too.
Shirley's still in the top 20.
Where is he? Let's have a look.
18th.
Oh, yeah. And I'm 156. But of course, in the punting comp, I'm top of the table.
Whoa. Don't go over that. Don't gloss over that. It's because you can't pick Mark Talia and Sever Reese in the old prediction, can you? Because that's all you've done all week for your putts.
He has gone with TJ. He's lucky that multi came through.
Yeah.
That's the one that got him through.
Thanks, TJ. Thanks, Alex. But at the top of the tipping comp, we've got Sam M. Howie, second place Marge, who also had the best result for last week.
Oh, man.
And then we've got,
Who's your favourite?
Lysar.
I'm out of here.
I'm hoping that's what it is.
I thought that was my internet lagging again, but I think that was just poorly lagging.
Oh, to be fair, I've been lagging for a while. Also, don't forget, we've got a few promotions on this week in terms of Super Rugby. Take a 3 or more leg same game multi, which I've just done for you if you want to follow me in. And if your multi fails by one leg, you could get some bonus cash up to $50. Just head to the TAB website to check out all the T's and C's. That same game multi applies to all the Super Rugby games that include a New Zealand team this weekend. So, yeah, have a little go there. And, of course, we've got the Mega Multi Oval Ball promo as well. Once again, check out all the T's and C's at tab.co.nz. It's another show, boys. We made it through round 14. Only one more week of regular season next week, and then we're into the business end. And then, which means that we're getting that much closer to the first All Black test of the season. So we'll have a look at another position and help Razor out next week. We'll have a look back at how much money I won this week, and we'll check out the tipping comp again, because it means one more week of regular season rugby means only one more week for the tipping comp.
Oh, what?
That's right. Yep.
Well, hang on.
No, that's it.
Oh, look, see,
Yeah.
Before we go all the way to the grand final.
No. It's all about punting once we get to the playoffs.
Paul's called it. No good at it. He's not in the hunt. He's throwing his toys out the sandpit, but he's had enough.
Oh, mate. He gets his one opportunity and it comes through, and then all of a sudden, no, I'm in charge. No, I'm at the bottom of the table. I'm top dog. I'm leader. I get to dictate what's going on.
Right. What's in store for Piri Wipu this weekend?
Just my kids' sports this weekend. Running around after my older kids and watching their netball, rugby and netball, and watch a bit of our second 15 because our boys played yesterday, so they don't get to play. They don't have to play this weekend, which is good. So it gives them a bit of a break, and then prep leading into our second game next Saturday.
Beautiful. Searle, you'll be taking on Takapuna this weekend.
Yeah, I think I'm up. Airport, aren't I, mate? Isn't that the drill with your blue and gold pom poms? Yeah, taking on Takapuna. It's another for the Ramfurly Shield or North Harbour Club Rugby, the old Les Pierce as well. So if we get that, there should be some good scenes. So yeah, one last little tip here: Northcote 1 to 12. I think it'll be tight, but I'm backing the boys, of course.
Well, good luck to your kids there, Piri. Good luck to Searle and his endeavours against the might of Takapuna. And thanks to everyone for tuning in.
Hang on, what are you doing this weekend? You got anything planned? You had a pretty big weekend last weekend.
Yeah, I'll be watching lots of sport this weekend. Pretty much what I did last weekend, to be fair, except I'll be watching it from the couch.
Oh, there we go. I thought you were going back for Magic Round 2.0.
No, thanks you guys for listening to the Pick and Go, and we'll be back next week with another edition, and we'll be looking at a whole heap of Super Rugby.